Welcome home, nephews. Now lock in with me for a minute. Attraction rarely ends with a blow up. It doesn't end with an argument, a fight, or some dramatic moment you can even point to. Most of the time, it dies quietly. It dies in the middle of normal conversations. It dies in the middle of good intentions. Nephews, it dies in the middle of you thinking everything is fine. One day, the texts are flowing, the replies are fast, the energy feels mutual, and then something shifts. Shorter answers, delayed responses, one word replies. You lean in a little more because let's be honest, that's what you were taught to do. And somehow that makes things worse. And here's where men get stuck. You start replaying messages, second guessing your own words, wondering what you said wrong. But tonight, we're going to tell you the truth most men never hear. Attraction usually doesn't die because you said the wrong thing. It fades because the dynamic changed quietly, subtly, and often without you even realizing it. Tonight on Ask Your Favorite Uncles, shout out to us, we're talking about why conversations lose direction, how curiosity slowly turns into availability, why effort can replace presence without you noticing, and how men end up responding instead of leading. Now, nephews, this isn't about blaming women, and it's damn sure not about shaming men. This is about awareness, because once you can see the shift, you stop chasing ghosts and you start moving with clarity again. So if you've ever looked at your phone and thought, damn, what changed? This conversation is for you. And tonight, we want to hear from you. Call in, write in, bring your real situations, the text, the moments, the confusion, because chances are, if you're dealing with it, nephews, then so are hundreds of other men listening right now. All right, so let's break it down. Let's get honest, and let's make sure you leave this show seeing things more clearly than when you arrived. Welcome to Ask Your Favorite Uncles. My name is William. You can call me Unc tonight. Johnny, go ahead and introduce yourself for everybody watching.
So well said, but I'm Johnny Dumbbell. I'm a personal trainer and life coach out here in beautiful Pittsburgh, PA. Business is booming right now. Of course, the first of the year, just a month gone. Groundhog Day, the rat saw a shadow. We don't really believe in that kind of stuff, but hey, it's a fun superstition, much like hockey, where the Pens unfortunately did not win tonight, but whatever, we're not going to talk about that. But I'm not here to talk about failures, their failures. I'm not here to talk about success either. We are not here because we made the right choice all the time. We are not here because we've always been successful and we've always done the right thing the right way. Believe me on that. We are here to teach you what we've learned from the most valuable teachers of our entire experience, and that would be our failures. We have screwed just about everything up that a middle-aged man by our age could possibly screw up when it comes to relationships, jobs, finance, whatever it happens to be, self-confidence, self-discipline. And we are here to let you know that you don't have to go down the same path that we did. We are here to tell you not only that we screwed up, not only how we screwed up, but how we became better men as a result of the lessons learned. That way, we can confidently say to you, we screwed up so you don't have to. Let's go.
All right, Johnny, let's get to work. What do we got tonight?
We got 4 questions tonight. The first one's pretty brief, but I felt like it was important to kind of include this because this is one of our viewers. This is Marcus. Marcus says, I matched on Bumble and I set a date for 2 weeks away. To text or not to text? Bruh. So he says, I've seen your Thursday show several times now. Following your advice, I'm 24. Yeah, baby. And don't forget to keep watching.
But that's right. Hey, Johnny, I don't mean to interrupt you. I just love that so much that these young men are out here paying attention and moving differently because of us, man. We're really making a difference out here. Shout out to us, bro.
Yeah, man, we need to. We need to. And guys, you know, it gives us pleasure too, because the thing of it is that we didn't have the kinds of things that we're able to provide for you. And rather being jealous or bitter, we know that we are the difference that we didn't have when we were your age. So, you know, we love to be able to be there to give you things that we didn't have, give you resources that we weren't given access to, so that God willing, you can do better than we've done, especially as young as you still are. But yeah, I mean, Marcus is 24 and he matched with a girl who he says is 22 on Bumble. And he says she asked me out on a museum date in 2 weeks right away. I agreed, but should I keep texting her or should I wait? We haven't really talked yet. We just agreed on the date. Okay. I'm glad you watch us. I'm glad you're taking advice when it comes to dating. And maybe we don't touch on this enough on our Thursday show. And I think it's because we think it's a no-brainer, but I keep forgetting how young a lot of you guys are. And it's probably important to know that when you're setting up a date with a girl that you're going to meet, I think it's fantastic. But first of all, she already told you where you're going and what you're going to do. And I honestly, I don't care nearly as much. I don't care nearly as much about that as I do about the fact that she's saying, let's get together in 2 weeks. What are you going to do in 2 weeks? Because you don't want to sit there texting on the phone hours on end. We tell you all the time that is the easiest way to talk your way out of a date. That's the easiest way to talk your way out of her attraction to you. And yeah, that is the last thing you want to do, man. Here's the thing. It is not out of line for you to say, man, 2 weeks seems kind of far away. I don't even know what I'm doing next week, let alone in 2 weeks. So, you know, I was thinking maybe more along the lines of Thursday or Friday. You know, I mean, even then I would be a little more definitive. I would say, I mean, I was planning on going and having a couple of drinks after work Thursday at 7. I'd like to see if you join me then. You know, that is called a counteroffer. You're not upping the ante. You're not, you know, changing things to favor yourself more. You're simply saying 2 weeks from now. How about like 3 days from now? You know, 2 weeks is an awful long time for you to sit there and, like you're asking, to text or not to text. No. Texting is nothing more than exchanging phone numbers or exchanging information or deciding on when and where you are going to meet. In this situation, really looks to me like what happened was you let her dictate the terms, and now you don't know what to do. And why should you? You're not leading. You're being led. You're not asking what you should do. You're wondering what she's going to do next and how you're going to follow it. I mean, let's face it, deep down, that's what you're really wondering. This would have been a situation for you to say, and I mean, maybe you can still say it, but I think it would have sounded a lot better right off the bat. Would have been saying, hey, look, that seems a little bit off in the distance. You know, I got a lot going on. I'm working on a lot of projects, you know, this and that, whatever it happens to be. And, you know, yeah, 2 weeks from now, I don't know what's going on. 3 days from now, let's see if we can make it 2 weeks. Let's go get coffee. Let's go get a drink. But no, in this case, what ended up happening was she dictated the terms of your first meeting to you. And now you're sitting on your hands for 2 weeks with no idea what to do. Bill.
Nephew, first of all, shout out to you. Thank you for writing in, Marcus. We appreciate this. Now, here's the straight truth. Sir, this isn't about texting. This is about pace and direction. And this is where men usually go wrong. All right, you treat texting as proof of interest instead of logistics and light conversation. All right, because you took the time to write in, nephew, I love just giving y'all the game on how men are supposed to move and basically how I would move if I was in your shoes. So the game going forward here is you got three things, okay? If you're going to text, I need you to text with intention and not entertainment. A short check-in every few days is fine. Endless banter is not leadership. It's nervous energy. And most importantly, I need you to anchor the date once and then relax. All right, confirm the museum, confirm the day, and then let space do its job. Attraction, sir, it needs oxygen. And the third thing I'd like you to do here is don't audition between then and now. You already agreed to meet. Don't try to win her over before she's even seen you. The
Yeah.
bottom line is you don't disappear and you don't hover. You stay calm, you stay directional, and nephew, you stay unbothered.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this case, yeah, you've already put it off 2 weeks from now, which looks like you got about 10 or 11 days to go. This is rough, man. Because here's the thing: now you're going to be teetering that line, like Bill said, between between negativity and silence and over talkative and oversharing potential. Because in your mind, it sounds like you're trying to make sure you keep this girl's interest between now and the time she meets you for the first time. Now, that time could be spent building intrigue, but you can only do that for so long. 2 weeks is a long time. In 2 weeks, she could meet somebody else, fall in love, and, anything can happen. Now, my question would be, why does she want to wait 2 weeks? Now, it could be about the availability or the hours of the museum. Okay, fine. But that's not the only thing in your town there is to do, I'm sure. Matter of fact, I've been to your town many times. There's a few other things that you could be doing there. I think that it's important for you to, in the future, make sure that you are setting dates that are no more than a week in advance. And I think even that's a stretch. I would say 3 to 5 days from the time you make the date is the latest you should be meeting. I prefer whenever I match with somebody online, I prefer to meet them in the next 24 to 72 hours, once we've established that we would like to meet. Now, if you don't have that chemistry, I wouldn't even go for asking for that in the first place. But if you obviously have that chemistry, that both of you have made it clear that you want to meet each other, there really is no reason making it a 14-day countdown. It should be 1, 3, maybe 5, not 14. You just got way too much time to practice the texting and the conversational faux pas that have plagued young men in dating even before the time of online dating. I think that you were way too excited that she asked you out. And here's the thing. I'm glad she asked you. I'm glad that she was the one that wanted to meet you so badly that she took the initiative to ask. Not because it's good that you're having her lead you. That's not really that great an idea. But it does show that you were able to spark her interest to the point where she asked you to meet her. Now, yeah.
I can tell he's been watching, Johnny.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I understand why, especially watching us, that came across as a good thing. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm sorry if I misled you in or didn't give you enough instruction on how to set up that first meeting by letting you guys know. This is not something that you set up. Hey, can I meet you in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 week? No, man. I mean, if you guys are interested in each other, you got that chemistry, get that first coffee meeting, drink meeting out of the way. Get to know her, get to know the things you like, and see if there's going to be a second date. See if the museum is a thing. Okay, see if that is a possibility. If things can pop off over a cup of coffee, they can certainly pop off in an interesting place like an art museum or actually where you are, I think it's an art museum, but even if it's natural history, whatever it is. Hey, museum's a great idea. You got the stimulus of things that you can see and hear around you, but you still have the ability to have a conversation. It's not like being in a movie theater where you got to be quiet. You get to know absolutely jack shit about each other. You learn more about the character in the movie than you do about the person sitting next to you. As we all tell you, movie dates are not a good first date. Museum's actually pretty good for a second, third date.
Not bad,
but
right?
I still maintain that first should be coffee and drinks. That is where I think you should have said,
ducks, nephew.
No, yeah, we don't feed them bread though. I'm never going to get off that point. But one of the things that I will tell you is that here's what I would have done. When she said, hey, let's meet in 2 weeks at a museum, I said, hey, the museum sounds great, but, I was thinking maybe we could meet, all right, I'm not a Starbucks fan, but let's just say Starbucks for the sake of argument. Let's meet at Starbucks for a cup of coffee, in a couple of days. That way we can get to know each other a little bit better, and we'd have more to talk about once museum day comes around. But the thing of it is that you didn't do that. You got so excited that you got asked out that she took the lead, which to you spoke interest, which is fine, and that might work for now. But if you do manage to make it all the way to this museum date and you don't take initiative at some point, I don't mean control, I mean initiative. I think that what might happen is that this whole attraction from her to you is going to get played pretty quick. Whether she realizes or admits it or not, she's going to want you to lead in at least some way, shape, or form. And so far, you haven't. So far, you're just happy to be there. You're happy to be along for the ride. And that's all fine and good, but your stop might be coming up pretty quick.
Now, Marcus, what I want to do is I want to give you real game for writing in. I want to give you real life solutions that are going to help you with your situation, because Johnny and I know you're not the only one struggling with this. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to lock the date in once and then stop selling. Confirm the plan one time. And if you need to, you can use this verbatim. Say, hey, I'm looking forward to the museum on the 18th. Should be a good time. Now, that's it. No daily check-ins, no validation farming, no auditioning. And I'll even tell you why this works for you, because you don't repitch something she's already agreed on. Leaders assume alignment unless told otherwise. Okay. Now, you can use light space touch points, but not like momentum texting. Like one short message every few days is enough. Like a casual observation, a quick museum related comment, or a brief check-in with no question attached to it. Now, if the message doesn't add something, then don't send it. And I need you to understand that interest grows in this space. Texting, it's seasoning. It's not the meal. So you have to understand what you're doing. And if you don't, you're going to make these mistakes. And a lot of men make these mistakes. We understand. Sure. We want you guys to never fill silence with anxiety. No double texting, no clarification. No, I hope your day is going well, Phyllis. God.
None of that silence, good morning, beautiful crap.
Nephews, silence isn't a problem unless you panic inside. Calm men don't chase reassurance. Now, I want you to stay. Also, I'd like you to stay busy off the phone. Now, this is game most men don't want to hear because it's not sexy. But Marcus, you should be training, working out, living your life, and not staring at message bubbles. All right, men with direction don't orbit a date 2 weeks away. Now,
no, and I mean, and the best thing I can tell you to do is if you are still on the app, maybe meet a girl or two for coffee if she's not able to. Nothing wrong with that. You have no commitment to anybody at this stage. But the thing that I'm going to tell you is statistically, this museum date has a 50-50 chance at best of never happening. And a lot of that is because in 2 weeks, that interest can fizzle. You know, even if you don't talk or text your way out of her interest, you know, there are a lot of things that can be distracting for you, that can be distracting for her, that's going to pull that interest away, that's going to pull that excitement of something that's not happening until almost Valentine's Day is, I'm guessing, right around the time you guys are supposed to do this. And the thing of it is that statistically, this date might not happen. So, and if it doesn't, whether it does or not, I want you to take with you in the future that, yeah, we don't schedule dates 2 weeks out, man. That's a lot. That is an awful lot. Especially when you don't even know each other and have never met in person. You know, and yeah, like I say, I think that 1 to 3, maybe 5 days tops is a good way to make a plan. And that way, you're not trying to fill the dead air so much with, you know, the text messaging, the conversations and things like that, that really, like I say, you don't need. The phone, the message inbox, that is for making arrangements to meet in person. That's it.
All right, nephew. So here's what you're going to need to do. I'm going to want you to maybe 24 to 48 hours before you're going to reconfirm the date briefly. Real short. Yeah, Johnny would tell you 24, but a day and a half. Okay. And it's real short and sweet. You're just going to say, hey, still good for the museum tomorrow at 2, and then stop. And I'm going to give you the game on why this works, because it shows reliability without neediness. Now, Marcus, we're also going to tell you what you should not do, because that's how much we appreciate you seeking some leadership and guidance for your life. So I want you to not try to build attraction through text. That's the number one thing you need to do. And you don't escalate emotionally before the meeting. All right. Don't turn texting into a relationship. And don't worry about keeping her interested. That mindset is going to put her above you. Now, here's some truth from your favorite uncles. Attraction doesn't grow because you do more. It grows because you don't undo it. If she's interested, space isn't going to kill it. If she's not, I need you to understand that effort won't save it. Now, you win either way by moving correctly, nephew. So I'm glad you wrote in. And if you need us to follow up or elaborate on something, then write back next week. Write Uncle Johnny. I'd be more than happy to explain some of these answers we gave you tonight. But just, timestamp this at 23 and a half minutes and go back and get yourself what you need out of it, sir. Appreciate you writing in.
And for the rest of you, those of you in the chat, if you found yourself on either side of a similar situation, leave it in the comments. Let us know what happened. How did it turn out? But as far as you, Marcus, and everybody else who wrote in today for tonight's show, if we read your question on air, on air, my God, I'm old. If we read your question live, you are going to get the first 4 weeks of Johnny Dumbbell Challenge complete with specific total body workouts that are going to help you get yourself off the couch, accelerate into expediting the process to becoming who you're meant to be. And that's up to your standard, not ours, not anyone else's. But yeah, a copy is heading your way and 3 other ways tonight. So thanks for writing in. Love you. Now, we got question 2 from, I don't know if he wants to be called Caesar or Cesar. It's spelled Cesar, but there's no accent. Anyway, he said, did I fumble? This girl messaged me first, and we had good banter going. After talking for a couple of days, I asked her out. She replied with an enthusiastic yes. So I followed up this morning by asking her what her schedule looks like. No response all day. Previously, she responded to my messages. Hold on. Previously, she responded to my messages no more than 4 hours later, sometimes in even less than an hour. Did I fumble? I watched your podcast, and I've heard you both say to propose a specific day and time. Imagine that. But that doesn't seem to feel right to me. What you mean is you're not comfortable being uncomfortable yet. That's what it is. I know it's scary. It really is. But he says it feels awkward to try and impose a specific day on someone you don't know. I prefer to get a sense of her schedule and then suggest a day. I also feel proposing a specific day and place off the bat gives the vibe that I've been taking dating advice from old-fashioned pickup artist type sources, not you. Am I wrong? Yeah. Should I have been more direct? Also, yeah. Should I stop worrying and get on with my life? No. You should stop. Take time and focus on yourself, liking and respecting yourself, sharing what you find within your self-discovery, and then finally share it with a woman who actually makes your team. Because right now it's happening, and listen, man, I'm not mad at you. But we made it clear all along, we are not pickup artists. We are not showing you how to get the girl every time. I didn't get the girl every time. Uncle Bill does not get the girl every time. The best of us close 10 or 15% if we're lucky. And that's if we know how to talk to girls. Well, how do you talk to girls? Well, here's the thing, man. You don't do the wishy-washy thing and ask her what she prefers. Now, it's okay to ask what her schedule's like, but instead of asking what her schedule's like, the best thing I would even say is, well, hey, I was planning on doing this on Thursday at 7. Can you make it? Because if she can, she's going to meet you. And if she can't, she's probably going to tell you, well, I have to work, or I got this going on, or I got something going on that night. Even if she doesn't say what it is, hey, I got something going on that night. Oh, cool. I mean, is there another night? What do you know? Now, if I were you, I would shut up right there. When she says, look, I can't go that night for whatever reason or for no reason, whatever it is. If she can't make it, shut up for a minute. And like my father always said, never pass on a good opportunity to shut your mouth. Because that will give you the chance to hear whether she gives you a counteroffer, different night and time. Okay? Not, can we do dinner instead of drinks? That is not a counteroffer. That is called an upsell. We don't do upsells. But what we do is we listen to see if she tells you, well, I'm busy Thursday, but I'm free Wednesday, or I'm available Friday. You know, because if she just tells you I'm busy Thursday, give me a call next week or something, or maybe we should look for some other time, and she doesn't get anything specific, she doesn't give you any kind of a counter. That's the kind of not leadership, but just a lead into what her schedule is like that you're going to need. I understand that you think that that proposing a specific day and time seems a little forward and seems a little over the top. Well, here's the thing, man. If you think that, then I'm going to tell you right now, get ready to be led around by your you-know-what. Get ready to be told how it's going to be by everybody that you date. And be ready to make her program and follow her rules. And then one day you'll be writing into us again, wondering this time what you did wrong. This isn't about what you did wrong. No, you didn't fumble. You never had the ball. You didn't even take the handoff. So no, you didn't fumble. You missed your assignment.
Nephew, this is where men get tripped up. Like, getting the results doesn't mean you move correctly, and not getting it doesn't mean you failed. Now, I appreciate you writing in. I really do. Shout out to you. And we're going to do a deep dive on this. Say something, right, John? Because
I'm just going to call him Caesar.
Caesar, this is a classic learning movement. This is not a failure. Because the real issue here is you weren't wrong for wanting to be considerate, but you were off because clarity beats comfort. Now, asking what does your schedule look like shifts the frame from leader to coordinator. That's not game. That's outsourcing direction. Now, I'm going to give you some game right now. I'm going to give you the game on how to move forward. And we're going to talk about 4 or 5 things that you need to be doing. Okay. And I need you to understand that men propose. We don't poll. Thursday at 7, drinks at wherever. It isn't imposing. It's decisive. And she can counter if needed. Specific plans signal confidence, not pickup artistry.
And in that event, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because number 1, you find out if she's interested, and number 2, if so, there's your answer to what your schedule look like.
Nephew, you're not running PUA scripts. You're showing you know how to move. Now, something else I need you to do here is silence after your message is information. It's not rejection. So don't double text. Don't explain. And just let the moment breathe. Yeah. Nephew number 4, I think we're on, right, Johnny? Yeah. Stop trying to be reasonable. Instead, be clear. Reasonable men negotiate themselves into confusion. Clear men, we invite alignment.
And if you're asking what her schedule looks like, there's a reason you're asking. What's the reason you're asking? Because you want to know if she can meet you at a certain date, a certain time. Well, you can get that information just as easily by saying, hey, I'd like to meet you Thursday at 7 for a couple of drinks. It's happy hour at Mugshots. Shout out to Mugshots, by the way. Great place. But, you know, things like that. But, yeah, I'm going to agree with Bill on this one. You know, you're not polling. You're not asking, you know, is it okay if? I mean, the thing of it is that I'm not saying go imposing your will on everything like you're some sort of brute squad. No. What I am saying is you're leading the way by picking the night and the time. If she can't make it, she can't make it, but she should be counter offering if she can't. You know, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is about whether or not you are capable of producing a lead that she is not going to be obligated, but is going to be willing and eager to follow. And in this case, you didn't do it. You took the initiative to ask if she would like to go out, but you didn't take the initiative of telling her when that would be best to take place. And you know, I think that, like I said, no, you didn't fumble. You forgot to take the handoff, and now it's a busted play.
Nephew, I'm going to need you to take some responsibility here. And
We would have football
responsibility
analogies when I
doesn't
don't have
mean
my football.
responsibility doesn't mean beating yourself up. It means owning your part and correcting it moving forward. So, okay, I got to be honest with you here. Your best move is going to be to detach yourself from the outcome immediately. Whether she responds or not, it doesn't define your value or your correctness. So I wouldn't say you fumbled. I would say that this is a very good learning moment for you, that it's not a failure because you reached out to your favorite uncles, seeking some game on how you should be moving forward. So, and let me tell you something. A lot of women, nephew, they find leadership attractive. So I'm going to be here at this place at this time. And whether they show up or not tells you really all you need to know. Now, I've had this experience in my own life where I will go somewhere. I'm enjoying myself. I'll meet a woman or two while I'm out and forget all about the one who was supposed to show up or was running late or wasting my time or whatever the case may be. So, look, I'm really glad you wrote in. Thank you so much for that. But like I said, men propose, don't take hold. Let her counter offer.
Yep. And also, Caesar, make sure you check your inbox. I did send you just like just like Marcus. I sent you guys. I sent you a copy of the Johnny Dumbbell Challenge. So make sure you're doing that and stay in touch, man. I want to see how it's going week to week, and more than I would like to monitor your progress. Look, I got a lot of business, a lot of things going on. Got a lot on my plate, but I want you to monitor your progress. I'm not saying weigh yourself every morning and obsess over the number. I'm not saying, obsessed over how much weight you can arm curl or whatever it happens to be. What I am saying is monitor your progress. Are you feeling better at the end of the day than you did at the beginning? Do you feel like you accomplished something today? And if not, why? What do you wish you would have done? What could you have done? What do you know you could have accomplished, but you chose not to or didn't attempt? Because the thing of it is that once you've learned how to be your own leader, there'll be no question about how to lead others. And in the future, you won't be asking, did you fumble? You'll be pretty sure you scored.
Nephew, you didn't fumble because of what you said. You hesitated where decisiveness was required. And that's a fixable skill. Keep watching, subscribe to the channels, write in. We appreciate your questions.
By the way, if you have questions, related to anything, it doesn't even have to be dating, but I mean, I know that we get a lot of dating questions. It could be anything that a young man would want advice from an older man for. I had a couple of mentors when I was younger, but they weren't on YouTube. But my email is in the live chat on my channel. It's nochaserjc@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. And, even if you don't want your question read on air, if you have advice, man, I'd be glad to shoot back an email. I have a few breaks throughout the day. Sometimes I'm eating, sometimes I'm working out, but a lot of the time I'm reaching out to you young men out there and helping you not be the screw up that I was. All right.
Shout out to you, Johnny. Appreciate your service.
All right. So we got question 3 from Carlos. Now this one's going to be interesting. Carlos says, to keep it short, I've been on and off with this girl for over a year, mainly because of outside issues that she claims are the reason she says we can't date. But then she comes, oh, no, it's okay, because then she comes back. A couple days ago, we were together. She said, is our being back together a good idea? We went back and forth, and finally I said, if you want to end things, we'll end things. She said, but I still love seeing you. And I just said, we can be friends. Did you just friend zone yourself, Carlos? Anyway, to this, she got really excited and basically said, really? Oh my God, yes, okay. Now, he says, when I said friends, I didn't mean exactly what we had going on. just without the sexual side. Because since then, she's been texting me every day like nothing changed, wanting to go out, etc. It's confusing to me. Should I just go no contact? Is being friends a good idea? One or both of you is trying to hold on to an idea. Bill, tell him.
Nephew, this one matters and a lot. Okay, because the real issue here is you offered up friendship to avoid loss, not because it aligns with your standards. That's not integrity. That's emotional bargaining. What you just did was you downgraded a relationship to keep access. That's something you should never do. Friendship offered in heartbreak is not friendship. It's avoidance. Hey,
she even gave you a clue.
What words matter? You should only be saying what you can actually reinforce. When you said friends, she heard same access, less responsibility. So,
and she led you to say it. I'll bet you any money she was the one that wanted to say it. And the reason she was so excited was because you said it, which meant she didn't have to. She didn't even have to put you in the friend zone. You opened the door yourself, walked in, shut it behind you, and locked it and flushed the key down the toilet. I decided the friend zone room is also a bathroom. You let yourself into the friend zone. You locked yourself in. So, I mean, here's the thing. And I tell young men all the time, you don't get put in the friend zone 99 times out of 100. You put yourself there. And this is not only a prime example, this is a voluntary example. You decided that having her as a friend was better than not having her in your life at all. And I'm going to tell you right now, in the next coming weeks and months, you're going to find out that's not true. Like Bill said, she was wanting to have the same access to you that she had before without the commitment. And not only did you suggest it, but she's got it. Like you said, you're still hanging out. You're still doing all the things you did before. You confused me with, I don't know if you guys are still sleeping together, but the point is you're still giving her that comfort without her having to really give you that commitment. I liken it to somebody saying, oh, I'd love to get my car fixed, but it costs so much money and I don't have it. And you know, that guy will jump in there and go, oh, I'll help you. Well, thankfully, this didn't cost you any money that we know of yet. But this girl was saying, I don't want to be in a commitment, but I just don't want to lose you. I don't want to be able to see you. And that gave you the warm fuzzies and decided to tell her and comfort her, who, by the way, is dumping you, by telling her that you can still be friends, that you can still have access to me and my resources. And to be clear, I'm not talking necessarily about monetary resources, your car or whatever else it is she might be using you for. It might not be anything material. This could be, just kind of an emotional, what do you call it? An emotional cushion for her. This is for her to fall back on in case the guy she's actually pursuing is not interested. In case she ends up getting the date with a guy she liked, but then he dumps her. This is for her to know that no matter what venture she goes out there and fails, she'll have, she'll still have Farmer Caesar to fall back on. That's just not going to, it's going to benefit her emotionally. I don't know how much it's going to help her mentally, but what I do know is there's really no benefit to you for this. I don't see where I really don't see where the profit is for you, man. And the thing of it is that a lot of young men need to have this policy in their life where if somebody is not adding value to your life, why are they there? If somebody is only taking and not giving, what are they doing? Even your children add value to your life. I mean, you're paying all the bills, but they add value to your life. This girl is not.
Well, Johnny, this young man needs to learn how to lead himself first, because right now he's following her emotions. And she's steering him because he surrendered direction.
Yeah, she led him right into it.
All right. Well, And nephew, I need you to understand that on and off is a red flag. That's not romance. Consistency is a standard. Anything else is just chaos disguised as connection.
What do we tell you, man? We tell you bottom line her actions, not her words. You ask yourself, does someone who's interested do this or not? And if someone is hot and cold, there's no such thing as, well, sometimes she's in love with me. That ain't how it works, buddy. If she's hot and cold, she's not into you. If she's cold, that goes without saying. If she's always hot, well, then you're doing something right. But here, it doesn't seem like you did.
Now, nephew, I'm glad you mentioned no contact. We're about to talk about this for a minute. No contact isn't punishment. It's alignment. Space is how men regain clarity and self-respect. So we're going to break this down for a little bit. Johnny, let's talk about how to do no contact correctly, because this is where men fail. There's no announcement to it. You don't announce, I'm going no contact. You don't tell her, I need space. You don't communicate, I'm stepping back, because men don't declare withdrawals. They change their behavior. No passive presence. No watching stories. No liking posts. No accidental replies. No keeping tabs. No contact means no access, and that includes digitally. Nephew.
That especially includes digitally.
No emotional storage. You don't save drafts. You don't rehearse conversations, and you don't fantasize about closure. Closure comes from decisions, not dialogue. And now, here's something that's crucial I need you to understand. No contact, there is no time limit. If you're counting days, you're still attached.
Yep.
No contact lasts until you no longer need an outcome, and that's the win.
And here's how you know you're doing it right. If somebody asks you how long have you been in no contact, you should have to look at your calendar and still have to guess. That's how much you should be putting this out of your mind. Now, a few weeks ago, I talked about when I quit smoking. And we talked about how I used the patch. But you know what else I did? I made sure I didn't pick up another cigarette because I didn't fucking buy any. If I didn't have them in the house, I can't smoke something I don't have. So in your case, if you have to block this girl on your social media, if you have to block her on your phone, you know, I mean, and again, you don't need to tell her this stuff either. But if you need to block her in order to keep yourself from contacting her, do it. It's a means to an end. And I think that once you see that you're all the better for it, the next time a scenario like this comes up in your life, and it better not include her, but I'm sure it'll probably come up again, including another, you know, with a different girl. At that point, you should be strong enough to just say, hey, you know what? I'm done with this. You shouldn't need to block her. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm saying you shouldn't need to. This is about working your plan, planning your work and working your plan, and not letting anybody get in the way of it, especially not somebody who's going to bring chaos and confusion, such as being in the friend zone, which, once again, I can't stress enough, you open the gate and let yourself in. So, yeah, I'm going to say this is cooked. I'm going to say stop letting her reap all the benefits without any of the actual responsibilities or without following any of the lead that you should have established. That ship sunk. You're not leading shit right now. Okay, she led you to opening the door of the friend zone yourself. This is not a relationship where she's willing to follow you. She's not ready to follow you. She's not wanting to follow you. And because of that, it doesn't sound like she's bringing much, if any, value to your life. And this is where you have to take some time to yourself, give yourself that value, find that value within. You're not going to find it looking around. You're not going to find it naked with a different girl. You're not going to find it, you know, on your game console. You're not going to find it in whatever car you can afford to buy. You're going to find it in discovering who you are, what you like about it, and how you plan to share that with the world, leaving your mark, not only as a romantic partner, but as a leader in general, no matter what it is you do in life going forward. You owe that to yourself. Don't live your life in debt. Let's go.
Nephew, at the end of the day, men set the pace and direction. When that's clear, most of the confusion, well, it just disappears. Now, I want to go back and talk about no contact a little bit more, because most men think no contact is about her behavior, and you're wrong.
No.
It's actually about regaining internal authority. All right. It teaches you can survive absence, that you don't need validation to stay grounded. It teaches you that your peace is not negotiable, and that desire doesn't override discipline.
Not at all.
Now, if she reaches out, you don't reward inconsistency. You don't jump back into the same dynamic. And you assess alignment calmly. The question is never, does she want me? The question is, does this interaction meet my standards? If not, stay where you are, nephew.
Yeah, if you're looking for consistency, don't compare her words to your results. Compare her actions to your results. And whether she realizes or not, she'll be consistent every time.
No contact No contact isn't about disappearing. It's about reappearing to yourself. Men don't lose power when someone walks away. They lose power when they follow them emotionally. No contact is how a man stops chasing clarity and how he becomes it. All right, Johnny, let's move on tonight. I appreciate you writing in, nephew.
It's easy, like everybody else. Check your inbox, and I better hear back from you. All right, so question 4 from Gennaro. Gennaro. He says, I was dumped after 5 years. Bro. That sucks.
Congratulations,
All right,
sir.
let's see what we got. Hey, man. The pain you're feeling is transition. Remember, everybody hurts while they grow. That's the way it works. Anyway, he says, hey, I know this might seem strange, or maybe I'm in the wrong place for a question like this. My friend, you are never in the wrong place when you're asking your favorite uncles, okay? But a while back, my girlfriend of 5 years dumped me. She's the only girl I've ever been with. She made it clear that she didn't find me attractive by the end. To me, she was the most beautiful woman in the world, and now it's over. I've been trying to move on, but now I feel so gross and unattractive now. It's not like I'm bad looking. I just don't get a lot of attention because I'm not fitness model hot. I have a decently athletic build. I'm like 5'9", but he says I have a fat forehead, LOL. Are there any tips that Jens have? Gee, where's he from? To help me start dating again. I feel like that's the only way to feel better about myself right now. Like I said, I just don't know how all this works. Gennaro, I'm going to tell you right now. So she told you or made you feel like you're unattractive, and to you, she's the most beautiful woman in the world. So you gave a lot of power to beauty. And that means that you gave her a lot of power while she sucked yours out if you ever had it. That's number one. But I'm not even talking about that. What I'm saying right now is you feel like starting a date again is the only way you're going to start to feel better. I disagree. Now, you say you don't know how all this works. Lucky for you, we do. Here's what's happening with you right now. You're at an ultimate low. Are you at rock bottom? Well, maybe for so far in your life. You're young. Or at least your emotions, your feelings about yourself are at rock bottom. And I know where that place is. I spent a lot of time in that place. And you're in a better place than you probably think. And the reason is because you've got nowhere to go but up, and you get to decide which staircase you take. You get to decide where you're going to begin to building yourself back up. Now, when you say you don't know how this works, I'm going to take that as you're not quite sure where to start. Well, as we told the other three, I'm going to tell you this, Gennaro, not just with the Johnny Dumbbell Challenge. Yes, I want you to get to the gym. I want you to be consistent. I want you to feel physically and mentally stronger. But I also want you to read between the lines as you do that. Because while your muscles grow, your mind should be expanding too. Your spirits should be lifting as well. You should be every day saying to yourself, I want to get better for me. Because the crazy thing that you're going to notice is the more you focus on you, the more they're going to focus on you too. But I don't want that to be in your mind just yet. These first 4 weeks of Johnny Dumbbell Challenge, I don't want you to think about making things better for anybody but you. Now, does that sound selfish? Yeah, maybe on the surface. But a healthier, happier you will attract healthier, happier others. And for those of you, for those around you that you really care about, they're going to benefit too. Consciously, subconsciously, when you are a better version of yourself, you create a better version of the world around you. And much like Caesar, you owe that to yourself. And like I told him, don't live the rest of your life in debt to yourself. Give yourself your due. Give yourself that feeling every morning when you wake up and say, my God, thank you, I'm alive. Now, great, you woke up another day. You opened your eyes one more time. You have another day to make things better. So my question to you is, starting tomorrow and every day after that, what are you going to do about it? What are you willing to do about it? What dark places are you willing to go to in your mind? Now, I know that's kind of putting the cart before the horse, but you're going to see what I mean as you go through this challenge. Not just the Johnny Dumbbell Challenge, but this challenge of taking yourself from the ground floor to the suites at the top. Okay? Get ready for a journey. How far that journey is completely up to you. And you're going to have to make that decision every day. Don't worry about where you want to be in a year. Worry about how you want to feel at the end of tomorrow. Worry about what you want to be able to accomplish by the end of next week. Stretch goals are called stretch goals for a reason. And yeah, man, I mean, life is way too short and way too precious for you to continue to do whatever it is you think you need to do to make other people like you. That is not the name of the game. You're put on this earth for a purpose, and I don't know any more about yours than I do about mine in the grand scheme of things. But what I do know is you won't get anywhere near it until you make yourself healthy. Let's go.
All right, nephew. First, I need you to hear this clearly. Your worth didn't disappear because one woman stopped desiring you. And
it wouldn't disappear if 10 of them did.
This is where men get stuck. They try to date to repair their self-image, and that never works. So, nephew, I appreciate you writing in. I would go as far as to say that this is my purpose, and I'm filling my purpose right now by giving you the game on how you need to move forward tonight. So thank you for that, allowing me to fulfill my own purpose here. I'm going to need you to start rebuilding your identity before trying to rebuild attraction. Please. Now, what does that mean, Unc? I'm glad you asked, sir. That means going to the gym, doing the Johnny Dumbbell workout challenge. Shout out to Johnny Dumbbell. That means getting structure in your life. That means creating a routine. And that means developing your own purpose, and not for women, but for you. Nephew, I am
women are just going to be the side benefit of that. Yeah, that's correct.
I also need you to stop measuring yourself against extremes.
Oh.
Okay. Fitness model hot is not the baseline here.
No, it's not even the median.
Confidence and direction matter a lot more. And
look, I know you're young, and I understand what it is to scroll through social media, and see somebody on there who's maybe a fitness influencer or any kind of influencer, and say, wow, whether it's physically or whatever else, this person's really got it together. Why don't I? Listen, these people have millions of followers because they are unique, because there is something very different about them, because there is something about them that nobody else possesses. But I'm going to tell you a little secret. You got that too. I mean, there's not There's a lot of guys in the world named Gennaro, but they're not you, Gennaro. They're not the Gennaro that wrote into his favorite uncles. And unfortunately for them, they're not getting the kick-ass advice you're getting right now. There's never going to be anybody that's better at being specifically you. Now, you might be sitting there, and it sounds like you are saying, well, yeah, but what's so great about me? Hey, that's for you to find out. We'll be here to help you along the way, man. Do not lose my email. I'm sure as hell not going to lose yours.
Sir, I also am going to need you to start dating from curiosity and not validation hunger.
Oh.
Okay, when dating becomes the medicine, it also becomes poison. Confidence doesn't come from attention. Attention comes from confidence built elsewhere. So look, and I appreciate you writing in. I love to give you some real game, and I need you guys to understand, nephews, real game is not about women. It's about how you move when no one is rewarding you yet. Direction, standards, calm execution, no attachment to outcomes. That's the work.
Yep.
John, you got anything else you want to add for this young man tonight?
Yeah, I mean, again, I know that a 5-year relationship is rough when it ends. I've had a couple of those happen, not to mention a marriage. So I am no stranger to that pain. But what I was a stranger to until after my divorce was the conceptualism of what that pain means. Because that pain doesn't mean that you're unattractive. It doesn't mean that you're hopeless and you should give up. It doesn't mean any of those things. This pain just means that you're in transition from one way of life that you knew into another way of life that you don't yet know, that you haven't yet been acquainted with. That's the bad news. But the good news is you're in charge with the direction that new life goes. When I got divorced, one of the biggest things that I woke up one day and said to myself is, I don't like my life. But you know what I realized? The woman who just left me is not going to come knock on my door and say, hey, now that I've made my life better, I'm going to reach down and help you. Come on, man. Whose ex-wife does that? I can't even blame her for it. So that's where I had to kind of stand up and say to myself, no, I'm not happy with my life and the way it's going. I don't like being 255 pounds. I'm just not comfortable with that weight. I don't like not liking myself. I don't like the job that I was going to every single morning. I don't like any of those things. And so I knew that nobody else was going to knock on my door and say, hey, I know things suck. Here's a better life for you. No charge. No. It was I knew from the beginning it was going to be costly, not to mention the fact that I had no idea what the hell I was doing at first. And you're going to feel like that for a while too. You're going to have to do a little exploring. What makes you happy? What makes your days better? What makes you feel like you could accomplish something? What is going to make your dinner taste a little bit better after work? What's going to make you want to jump out of bed instead of roll out of bed? More importantly, what's going to make you jump out of bed, then make your bed, and then get to making your life better? So, I mean, these things are all going to be things that are going to be on your mind, and it's going to seem chaotic at first until you find an order to it. If you're struggling with that, you already know my email address. Like I said, I'm going to be following up with you anyway, but you're in a very exciting position. You don't even know it yet. You're in a very exciting position because now your life is at a crossroads, and it is up to you which direction you take from here. God, I actually almost envy you because while I'm very happy with the way my life's going right now, I remember how exciting it was when I realized that I was the one behind the wheel. Well, your uncles are here to tell you you're already behind the wheel. But, maybe start the car. All right?
All right, nephews, before you log off tonight, I want you to sit with this for just a moment. Attraction doesn't usually die because you weren't enough. It dies because somewhere along the way, you stopped moving like yourself. You stopped leading with clarity. You started filling space instead of holding it. You started reacting instead of choosing. And none of that makes you weak. It makes you human. But growth starts when you stop asking, why did she change? And you start asking, why did I stay aligned with my standards? Now, look, Real game isn't about keeping someone interested. It's about keeping your integrity intact, not whether they stay or go. Tonight, nephews, it wasn't about tricks. It wasn't about texting formulas. It wasn't about blaming women for responding to what they're given.
No.
It was about this truth. When you move with clarity, you don't need reassurance. You don't need constant feedback. You don't need to chase understanding. You trust yourself enough to let outcomes land where they land. Now, some of you are going to realize tonight that the answer isn't to do more. It's to do less, but with intention. Less explaining, less hovering, less negotiating your worth, more direction, more calm, and more self-respect. And if something fades after that, let it. Not with bitterness, not with resentment, but with the quiet confidence of a man who knows he didn't abandon himself to keep someone else. That's the work. That's the game. And that's how men move forward. Now, we appreciate everybody that wrote in tonight and every man willing to look inward instead of pointing outward. And nephews, we'll see you next time on Ask Your Favorite Uncles. Until then, stay sharp, stay grounded, and choose clarity over comfort. John, you got anything else you want to add tonight?
Just to remind you guys that we won't be seeing you for another 71 hours. So we will not be able to be available to help you or bail you out of jail. So keep drugs and alcohol to a minimum. But if you do drink, don't drive. And if you do drive, don't park, because accidents cause people. Good night.
All right, we appreciate you watching. Thank you, everybody.